Innovative.
The WB Morning Show, hosted by The Real Young LA and Cool Ass Cam.
Hey now, we are back. It's your boy Young LA, The Real Young LA. You know I'm with my bro Cool Ass Cam. I'm here and talk to him.
Yes, sir. Welcome to the WB Morning Show. Hope y'all ready for the Wake and Bake.
Hey, for the people that just got here, the WB stands for Wake and Bake, man. You know what I'm talking about? So you going to see me with two chopsticks and this mimosas to keep the vibes going at all times. We got a lady in the house. I'm going to let her introduce herself.
Hi, everybody. I may look a little familiar. If I don't, my name is Taylor Lindsay. I am a professional gardener and a teacher, and I throw it back a little bit on the weekends. And thank you for having me. I run a business called The Plant Plug, where I teach people how to grow their own food and also grow a bag, keep a bag, harvest a bag, and keep the party going.
Hey, that was a hell of an intro right
Thank
there.
you.
To throw it back on the weekends.
Yes, professionally.
That part. So, how did you get into plants? You just been into that as a kid, or did you learn it as you grew up?
No, I didn't want a vegetable nowhere near me. I'm not even playing. Like, you know those, well, I like to phrase things based on culture. So, like, a lot of us grew up on black people spaghetti. Mm-hmm. Black people spaghetti is different.
For sure.
So, you know when you get that big tube of meat?
Yeah.
And my mom used to make those burgers that were kind of round between.
Yeah.
I was like, don't you dare put any lettuce or tomato on my burger, lady.
Okay.
And I was like that. I know my blood pressure was through the roof. I was a very heavy child, but I was only meat and cheese.
Got you.
And what happened was my mom is really into plants and my dad is very resourceful. So, you know, after school, you just want to go home, but your parents want to pick you up and run all the errands. And you're like, damn. So my mom would take me to a nursery almost every day after school.
Nice. And
she has this huge collection. They were the type to take home every plant after like an office gig or something. And they went to a bunch of garden classes. My mom got chickens. My dad built 6 beds. And then boom, it's in the backyard. So me being who I am, I've always been an entrepreneur into business, and I'm obsessed with results. I love results.
Nice.
And in 2019, I was like, wait, I started as a hobby. I've been killing plants since 2008, and then when the pandemic hit, it got real serious.
Right.
So I took everything over. So you could ask my parents, like, oh, she pushed us out. I was like, no, I have a plan.
Yeah.
I have a plan.
Yeah.
So I've been doing this professionally since 2019. So I'm about to come up on my 6-year anniversary.
That's what's up, man.
Yeah.
It's a lot when you're doing a business. So kudos to you.
Thank you.
That's one of you guys' shirts.
Oh, yeah. So this is printed by Squirrel Prints. This is like the 3rd generation of my logo. Shout out to Squirrel Prints. They do amazing printing work. They're actually right off of like Manchester and Vermont.
Right.
And they do small batch, large batch. They also do patches and hats.
Yeah,
so,
man. I support and get one of those.
Thank you.
I seen that plug. I'm real good with the plug, but I seen the plant plug with the heart. It all go together. But I like the little leaf with the plug. That's tight.
Thank you. It's the whole thing is like emojis, and people don't know because every entrepreneur, people that have been
then what
successful.
Does it say on the outside of it?
Oh, it says local is the answer always, but I phonetically made it like poetry to where you can start it at anywhere, but you're supposed to throw it in rotation. So I've been listening to Stunner Girl like nonstop, but as far as just like sustainability and having it be cyclical, like, you know, especially as a business person like yourself, I is there anything else that you don't do?
It's a lot of stuff I don't do.
Right.
So the things that I'm good at, I try to do a lot of it. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, like, I didn't play a lot of different sports, but as soon as I get in there and I realize I ain't really too good at this, I try to just back on out of that. So
that's why
I think people they get too used to being and stuff and being okay at it. Like, no, whatever I was good at, I just played at it. So I was always good basketball, dominoes, you know, stuff like that. But with business, same way.
Right.
You know, when you start figuring stuff out, like, I ain't never wanted to do like hard, you know, stuff, picking up boxes.
The hard labor,
people see you a big old dude. Hey, grab that for me. Like, oh no, that's not what I'm into right there, big fella.
Not these hands.
And I ain't gonna knock it though, cause I got some partners and uncles, and that was like manual labor is a thing that you can do, make money. Big manly nigga grabbing shit. Hands hard as a rock, you know what I mean? So that's cool too. Some people into that, but me, I ain't never thought about, I'm cool. I know how to do it, but I don't want to do it type shit. So I just, but music, cars. We was doing the dogs for a minute.
Okay.
Clothes, shows. You know, a lot of those other little stuff on the side too. You know, but yeah, I try to stay busy. You know, like every night when I heard the thing about you got to have 7 different hustles to try to be a millionaire, I was like, oh, okay, so you know, it's nothing wrong. I feel like they try to teach you all these different things, and as a kid, when you learn something, you get good at it. I think if it was cool if they would let people go off until they, like, if you learn art and you real good at it, let them start doing art all as one whole thing for the day, because he could be a great ass artist. Because then they try to make you learn math and you bad at math, like learn English, you bad at, now you got bad grades, but he really is a good ass artist and could have been dope if they would have watered that. So you know, our system is kind of crazy, but yeah, that's just a thought, you know. Yeah. But back to the plant plug. I don't really know nobody in the ghetto that have plants for sale. You know what I mean? So I thought that was tight. It's moving into the positive direction. As you get older, you start saying, I need to put different stuff in the house. People be thinking it's always pictures and stuff, but you got to start having living things in the house. Stuff you could water and grow, so you could water yourself and grow.
Help you breathe better.
Yeah, that too. As far as plants as decor and things like that, what I've seen mostly was, especially when I really got in the throes of my business, and you understand the ebb and flow of business. That's what I was talking about, like the cyclical nature. Yeah. Some things are popping here, sometimes they're dry over here.
Yeah, like
that's
cars.
Why you have multiple hustles.
Nobody's buying cars during Christmas time. Nobody said, I'm finna buy you a car for Christmas. Not a thing. So cars slow up around that time. Tax season, cars booming now. Yeah. So it's just like you said, very, very cyclical. Yeah. So if you got a different job when that slow up,
you have another one. You pivot. Yeah, exactly. You pivot. You don't quit. You pivot.
Man, you want to stay at a cool plateau in life. Sometimes you gotta definitely learn how to pivot real good.
You gotta pivot. So with plants, most people were just going for the aesthetics of plants, but I'm like, we can't eat this, you know. And during the pandemic, we saw how barren the shelves were, and how everything was just snatched up. Yeah. And I'm very deliberate about it. I was like, no, fuck the aesthetics, fuck everything looking cute and good. Can I swear on here? Yeah. Okay, thank you. I was more so of like, I don't like a middleman. You know what I'm saying? And the interesting, a lot of people don't know that my business model is based on drug dealing, specifically Rick Ross. Hey. And they also don't like the plug, right? I have 2 phones. I literally have 2 phones. Yeah. And that's why there's emojis on the logo.
That's my ringtone.
Oh, so you get it. But as far as that goes too, is I can't stand a middleman. And with the food industry, it only took about 40 years for them to completely strip us of where our food comes from, and also even worse, us not question it. Right. And then we can go back to sharecropping and slavery, but that's a whole nother show. Yeah. But I was just, with all the research and things that I did, I was getting really, really frustrated with what was popular.
We damn near disconnected now.
Hella. So we still have an opportunity. I think the window's closing in some senses, but also it's just like the thing that's missing most when it comes to the desire for people to want to grow their own food or even have house plants to help with oxygen and airflow in your house somewhat is people's access to education. Yeah. Because just like you said, like you just said, art is considered extracurricular, meaning that it would be a luxury and a privilege to get into something creative, which is nonsense to me. Right. And to go, and I went to school on the West Side, so they had special classes. Yeah. And I'm not talking about special education. That's not what I mean. I mean, like they had stock market, they had Shakespeare.
Start catering to different.
At 12 years old. Come on now. And then I went to 6th Avenue out here. Oh, we were barely making it.
Yeah, they barely got books and
we knew how to fight though.
Hello.
We knew how to fight.
You might have to squabble.
We learned how to fight. We knew how to fight.
You gonna learn your education out there. Yeah. Not out in here.
Because these kids didn't know any different.
They just pushing them through.
It was like we were in a cage, if you think about it. But it wasn't because of the gates at the school. It was because mentally where they had us. You know what I'm saying? So it was just like the school to prison pipeline is very much real for Black and brown children. And then you go to the West Side. And I went to school there, and I got real mad. But like you said, we don't nourish.
Groceries too. We used to big thing going.
Oh, the county food was different. Everything was different.
Just going to the Rouse. You go to Rouse and look how fast that shit gonna go bad on you. Then go somewhere in Westwood, somewhere and buy some Brentwood and buy some groceries.
Have you noticed under Rouse it'll say Farm Fresh? It'll be a Farm Fresh Rouse, or it won't be a Vons. It'll be a Pavilions. That's on purpose. I was in grocery for 4 years.
Come on now.
Yeah, and we were unionized, but it didn't really make a difference. So, but like the extracurriculars, you don't nourish that with the children.
Right.
You know, if you're in a certain zip code, LA's very segregated based on class and ethnicity and race, and people don't think that. They think that we're super liberal over here. You get kale salads with everything, and no, it's not. Like, I will say, our reputation for weed does live up to its hype. Like,
A1000. You hear
like
me?
that's the one thing we do have.
I ain't never going nowhere without no Cali on me. It don't even make sense. I'm not gonna be having fun. You ever went on a trip and don't got none of that on you, and you like, ooh, I'm trying to smoke, and then I gotta smoke. Yeah. And then it's like, I can't imagine it. As soon as I run out of weed, I'm going home.
Doesn't matter what state you're in.
Fun's over. Let's go back. All right, y'all. It's about that time.
So changing the curriculum, starting the kids young, even with adults. I teach all ages. The youngest I've ever taught how to grow food was 18 months. The oldest was 89.
Tight.
And I believe that the access to education is what sparks that desire. You know, I don't like trying to sell people shit. Like, because when it comes to basic needs like sleep, food, water, sex, why are we trying to convince people to take care of their basic needs? And I'm in the food category, right? Yeah. I'm not gonna try to convince nobody a shit. Yeah. Either you want it or you don't. So I got out of sales, and what set me free was education. Yeah. Because those are the real seeds that need to be planted. That's why it's funny, all those metaphors that the elders told us, all that wisdom, they were right.
They was right.
They were right, but we don't receive the message until we receive it.
Sometimes that shit don't connect until you go through something in life. You know
or you hit that age. And we're blessed to hit that age. Aging is a blessing, especially for Black people. Yeah,
because if you ain't growing, you dying. So you got to remember that.
Yeah, evolve or perish. I remember when I first heard that phrase, evolve or perish.
Okay, so we're going to get into the teacher side because I didn't know you was a teacher, which is dope. But,
I tell people on Instagram, don't tag me. I'm a teacher. I don't want to lose my job for having my cheeks out.
Exactly. What's like some of the most popular plants that you be selling?
Ooh, I would say a lot of people off top love tomatoes, and I do this thing called low maintenance plants. Tomatoes are not low maintenance at all. They need to be trimmed like a regular lineup. They really need a regular haircut and pruning.
Every day, you walk by there and check on them, huh?
Yeah, you do. And they're determinate and indeterminate, and then they have to be tickled.
Hold on now.
Yeah, you gotta tickle your tomatoes to get good tomatoes. It's this whole thing. They need attention.
Tomato tickler.
You gotta tickle your tomatoes. You get these little orange yellow flowers, and you gotta tickle them. I know it seems strange at first. It's silly, of course.
I just. Since we started there, I guess we got right into some comical shit. I was thinking we was going into some. This is educational. It's just tomato tickler.
Tomato tickler, yeah. And then they need to be pruned. And
is that like an actual position at the farm? Like
probably.
I'm the tomato tickler.
These are the things you don't hear about. That's why nourishing the extracurriculars is important, because in the food industry, especially if you're a producer, you can make, or a scientist. If you're a food scientist, you can make at minimum $70,000 a year. And I tell the kids that, and you know how a kid gets when they get $20, let alone $70,000.
Oh, I want to be a food scientist.
And then with being in agriculture, it starts at $50,000 a year.
Okay, so let's say this now. I'm growing some tomatoes, right? I don't tickle them the whole time. I just let them grow regular.
Okay.
They're not gonna be tomato-y.
What? Okay, so the thing about it is when you tickle them, it distributes the pollination. It distributes the pollen better. Okay. So it runs all through the plants, and then tomatoes are fuzzy.
Right.
So when you have a non-fuzzy part, it's called a sucker.
Okay.
And you're supposed to cut off the sucker. That's also a metaphor for life, Cam. And
cut off the sucker.
Cut off the sucker, right?
Okay, so you saying if you don't do it right, the whole thing will be a sucker. So you need to throw the whole tomato.
You won't get. Some people get a full bushy tomato plant, and they'll be like, Taylor, how come I haven't gotten any tomatoes? I was like, did you trim it? Did you check it for suckers? Did you tickle it? And they're like, I don't even know what any of that meant. Yeah. I just bought it at Home Depot. Nobody even tried to tell me nothing. Nobody knew nothing about the plants. I appreciate you because,
like I said before, I never heard of tickling. Pruning. I've heard of that. Yeah. What was some other terms you said?
Oh, the cutting off the suckers.
Cutting off the suckers. So somebody would say that, I would think they plan being funny, but that's the real thing. Yeah. I like that.
But people know these positions, so anybody that have you heard of like hothouse tomatoes?
No.
So hothouse tomatoes is there's two types of tomato plants. There's indeterminate and determinate. One grows all year, and one grows just for a season and then kind of dies or gets it out. Yeah. So what happens is, bless you.
Thank you.
We grow in hothouses because when you have if you have friends in the flower industry, you would know that. that when you grow in a greenhouse, you can control the climate and temperature all year round, and that includes humidity, that includes airflow.
That's why everybody got these depths nowadays. They rather do it at the greenhouse because it's way easier to control.
It is. It is. I prefer outdoor when it comes to flower. I love growing flower outdoor. I love when flower grown outdoor. Shout out to plant science.
Let's talk about it.
Yeah, shout out to plant science. So as far as that goes, the same thing with tomatoes. And cucumbers. So you can't grow tomatoes in the snow. You can't grow tomatoes in colder weather. So they create a hothouse effect in a greenhouse. That way we can have tomatoes all year round. Gotcha. Now in there they'll have the same thing. It's funny because a lot of people that I know grow cannabis also grow tomatoes in their greenhouses or in their grow boxes.
It's like the same.
They have the same properties.
Same
You remember Baby Boy?
Yeah.
Where his mom's like, "Who's growing this shit in my tomatoes?"
Oh.
Because they actually they're companion plants. Yeah.
And see, you know what's tight about certain movies is when they do it wrong. Because if they would have said who's growing the weed and the thing that don't go together, they don't even know.
Yeah.
Somebody must have went through there and say, to do it.
They did some fact checking before they wrote that line.
They did.
Yeah.
They grow really well together, actually.
You know what's crazy is hella about these plants though.
Oh, just a little something.
You up in there.
Yeah, but you want an informed plug though. Come on now,
man. I'm
you gotta
glad.
keep the mid off these streets.
I was about to say now, because we gonna get on you about being a plug if you ain't knowing what's going on. So
right.
You for sure the plant plug because you ready to.
Are you a plug or you just somebody with a little something?
You the middleman. We don't even like middlemen.
We don't like middlemen.
We're gonna get to the bottom of it fast, right?
Yeah.
You know what the jargon is. You talk to them and they say the wrong thing. Okay, I know what you are. Well, I'm gonna let you keep being who you want to be. But
right, but over there,
we can't be in the same pitch.
No, we can't.
So okay, next after tomatoes.
Let's see. Well, right now what's in season is cucumbers and watermelons. Those are picking up. I get a lot of requests for pumpkins and berries now.
That's dope.
You got to start your pumpkins 120 days out.
If
you want to buy Halloween, yeah.
Yeah, certain.
Yeah, I grow for
cannabis like that in certain ways too.
Yeah, there's autoflower.
Croptober. Come on now.
These strains are hilarious because I was telling somebody because I'm in nightlife, I'm around a lot of people that are now 15 years younger than me.
Yeah.
And I'm like, back in my day, we only had stress and Kush if you can find it, and an eighth used to be $50 to $75.
Yeah, it used to be serious.
Real serious.
Weed is so flooded right now.
Right.
Niggas is getting the 14s for the back in the day prices. And ounces for it's crazy now.
Yeah, but you don't want no $60
quality
ounce.
Though.
You don't want no $60 ounce.
If you live in the quality, you don't even matter about what the stuff do.
Yeah, but see, it's funny because for us, we can tell. If you were to drop off a O in Ohio for what's mid to us, everybody they'd be the most popular person on the block. They'd be like, "Oh, this is gas, this is fire." Da, da, da.
Yeah, you send some real gas to some of them people. They I don't even know what to do with this. They not even looking for it.
Right.
I need some of that crunchy. I'm like, wow, crunchy. Okay, so now I was about to say this. Shout out to that drink right there. We ain't gonna say to people, but
we need to check a little sponsorship.
The water, tap in for the win. Watermelon is I was dealing with somebody. He was telling us about the H3O properties is better than H2O.
H3O.
Yeah.
What would be the third oxygen molecule?
So it's basically saying
third hydrogen, right?
Because basically saying that the watermelon is all water. So when you drink watermelon juice, it's better than drinking water because it's more.
Oh yeah, so the hydration property. So that is true. I don't know if there's an additional hydrogen molecule so much.
I think that was just being funny because they were saying it was better, so they started.
He could trademark that. He could trademark that and really put that on some stuff.
I think that he's selling stuff.
Watermelon
so shout
water.
Out to my boy, but I don't want. I hope that they do too much. I was just talking. You said trademark. I'm like,
no. I hope he does.
Somebody might watch this.
No, some H3.
Get with their business is out now. We in the world.
But you know what? The interesting thing about trademark and intellectual property, because I bring this up on a lot of my shows about how DJs have been stealing from each other, and I have strays for a particular DJ. So
strays,
hella strays,
popping.
They could always get this smoke. So
hot box.
Anyways, so they steal a lot. So I teach people how to trademark their own stuff. Cause I have a trademark for the plant plug. Because if you write it in Instagram, there's 11 others that come, and those people were coming for me too, which I don't appreciate.
Right.
So and also, how are you gonna be a non-black plug? It's our culture.
Crazy, man.
Anyways, with H3O, the interesting thing about trademark is that you could take up space on the internet, even if you can't afford the trademark, just to have a claim, a basis of your claim that you did it first.
Yeah.
So what I did was I bought the domain of the plant plug for $15. This is game, y'all. So get out your pens, papers, iPhone, notebooks, whatever you got. Just write it out, write on your forearm if you got to. So what you do is you can buy the domain for $15. In the state of California, you can register the name for $60 for a month. That gives you a month. And then you could do the trademark, which is now $600, unfortunately. When I got my trademark, it was only $350. Yeah. Now it's $600. But once you enter your application, technically it's yours.
Yeah.
It's so if he's doing the H3O and we mentioned it on the show and we have timestamps,
yeah, no, he got a it's
so that he say like, oh no, you see back in on Monday the 9th, they spoke about it.
Yeah, he already up and running.
Yeah, see what I'm saying? So he already has stake in it.
He got labels,
so
he got
the cool thing about trademarks is if anybody messes with him, he can sue them for lost profits. So he's making money on top of money. So if anybody comes at him, even though people that he's haven't met, and there's an H3O, but he existed before, and there's like a 5-year gap between when he started and what neighbor operations, he can sue them for 5 years of profits.
Makes sense, because now it's like you confusing on who to go to.
Right.
That's all.
You're taking money out of my pocket.
That's what I'm saying. How much money you didn't make for people looking for me, and they found you.
Yeah.
Motherfucker.
Yeah. So that's just what it is. So as far as that goes, did I answer your question?
Yeah. You
okay,
said,
cool.
The
watermelon.
Yeah, the question was really what's the plants you were selling. So
yeah. So
I know I'm familiar with the watermelon. I just wanted to run it by you, but you basically the answer was yes.
Yeah.
It's better than water because it's more.
So it has micronutrients, so it has vitamins in it, and then also watermelon has something called citrulline in it, which also turns into arginine in the body. Those are both vasodilators, meaning that they expand the blood vessels to receive more blood flowing through the body, also nutrients, whatever you have. So he is correct about the H3O in theory, in a sense. One thing I don't like doing is, and I get around a lot of people like this in academia and in gardening, is talking down to people over the presumption that I know more.
Right.
So if you ever ask me a question and I come at you like I'm talking at you and down to you, kick me in the neck, because there's no reason I should be talking to anybody like that. No, and I'm not tall enough to kick everybody in the throat that has to come in.
I ain't never felt that from you. So
thank you, I appreciate it.
But I get what you're saying. Sometimes when people, they more educated or they got awards to show things that they feel like they could talk to people.
Right. And you know more about things than I do. That's how we come together. Like, you know more about cars than I do. That's respect. That's meeting each other where we're at. I just don't like when people do that with science,
I read
history,
with
politics.
With everybody hate him now, but Donald Trump, on the business side, when I was doing real estate, I was looking into real estate gurus, and he's one of them. But he always said he looked into experts to do the stuff he didn't do. So he know when he know how to do it.
Yeah, resourceful and stuff.
So I don't got to be a good mechanic because my car's always going to be taken care of because I know a good
the
mechanic.
Right people, yeah. And also there's a phrase that I live by, like, the man that knows anything is that he knows nothing at all. Mm-hmm. And then moving out throughout with that wisdom allows us to let knowledge flow through from person to person. And also, nobody knows fucking everything.
Man, that's why I'm living in now. You to know everything is to know nothing, you know what I mean? So you always want to be learning.
Yeah.
So I'm learning today. I just learned about cutting the suckers out and tomato tickling. You know what I'm talking about?
Tomato tickling.
Yes, sir. So that's pretty much all of the popular ones, or is there anything else you want to speak on that people be grabbing?
Other than the pumpkins and the watermelon, I've been moving a lot of corn lately too, which gets a bad rap.
Yeah, because they saying it's GMO modified and all that.
Now, I'm not anti-GMO.
Hey.
And I have reasons for that. Well, I'm not anti-GMO, but it's about more so the technology falling into the wrong hands.
Gotcha.
It's the mass manipulation of food and not even so much processing, but the manipulation to make gross profit, like max profit.
So when you say you're not against GMO, some stuff is grown better genetically modified?
Well, genetic modification can mean quite a bit of things, quite a few things. So for me, it's about the technology falling into the wrong hands in a sense that things are still grown chemically, and that's dangerous. Things being grown chemically, but also when it comes to, and I was talking to another botanist about this, because I'm independent study. I didn't go to school for this. Right. I do independent study. Shout out to the internet.
Yeah. YouTube University.
Yeah, for real. So as far as like if the thing about it is, things can still be grown organically, but the only type of genetic modification I'm willing to entertain is doing it for means of reducing famine. Have you heard of like salting the earth, right? And salting the earth and things like that, as far as like you destroy the earth, like if you really want to kill your enemies, destroy their food source.
Okay.
Change their god. destroy their land, give them nowhere to live, and tear up their education. Gotcha. So when this goes back thousands of years, like, you know, if anybody wants to start studying war, going back thousands of years. So what sometimes people would do is when they would tear up their enemy per se, is that they would salt the earth in order for, you can't grow no crops here anymore.
Got you.
And now you guys are gonna die.
Yeah.
You know, because they're, you know, they gotta go and they gotta move on.
There's certain like rules of war. That's probably one of them. Like you can't kill somebody where they can't eat. Now
which is relevant now because our food supply is a tore up mess. You know, so that the only time I would entertain and elaborate fully on when I don't promote GMOs, I'm just not against it, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Would be to reduce famine, where I understand the importance of planting native, but at the same time, if there is a war-torn area or a place per se where the earth has been salted, or people that don't have regular access, if I can have apples and avocados and beans grow where they usually can't grow just by a simple genetic modification, then I would want to have that.
So it's
there.
like it's some extreme cases where we will need GMO.
I hope not. But it's prevalent now. There was laws that were meant to be passed, and that's why I want people to vote so much, because I believe more so in local politic than I do federal politic. And local politic, they were trying to pass laws to have everything labeled GMO and non-GMO in our grocery stores, and that didn't pass. You know, there's a lot of different lobbying. There's a lot of bribery that's happening. And working in grocery, I saw that firsthand. I was at Whole Foods during the Amazon acquisition, and that was ugly. That was bad.
What type of stuff was going on?
Well, you know how when you go to a grocery store and they have their generic brand, like Great Value is Walmart.
Right.
So they started generically creating their own food, Amazon, and people are like, where is this coming from? And you're not getting those answers. And then on top of that, we had a lot of independent, smaller businesses that had their stuff in our stores. And well, the stores were, never mind. I don't know why I'm saying that. I don't work for that company anymore. They pulled out.
Yeah.
They pulled out immediately. Their reps stopped showing up. They stopped giving out free samples. They pulled out. They said they refused the politic. And then the acquisition was delayed because monopoly lawyers, having a monopoly is illegal. Yeah. Monopoly lawyers had to go over that contract dozens of times.
Right.
So it prolonged the full acquisition going through. And I was there for that real messy middle.
Yeah.
And imagine you have reps from companies. I'm just a cashier coming up and talking to me about how upset they are. So they got pushed out. They got pushed out because Amazon's now making room for their products. Even certain seed companies. Amazon banned the sale of international seeds, especially from China, during the pandemic, but they came out with their own seed company at the time.
Yeah, so they just pushing everybody out, and basically the vendors and people so mad. They talking to the cashier about it, and like you could go.
Oh, as a cashier, you hear it all, just like at the barbershop, at the beauty salon. Oh, you're gonna have all the tea.
For sure. Like you could about to go up there and tell the executive to do something about it or something.
Mm-hmm.
Like, but I hear you though.
And I met him.
You probably the closest person they could talk to at the moment. They just want to vent.
Right. I met one of the. I wouldn't say he's an executive director, but you know, the interesting thing was that a lot of Whole Foods was started by a bunch of hippies in Texas, and they cashed out.
How much you think they sold it for?
Millions.
Yeah. Probably.
Millions. A lot of them cashed out, and they're living on Easy Street. And it's a trickle down. It's a trickle down economy. But this is my thing with capitalism. My issue with capitalism is not so much that people make profits and money. It's that there's no cap to how poor people can be, and there's no cap to how wealthy somebody can be.
Right.
You know, like 8 billionaires have more wealth than how many people?
Yeah.
There's no equity. There's no justice there.
Yeah. They basically doing a monopoly to a certain extent.
Right. So, but drink your watermelon juice. It'll at least make today better.
Hello.
Yeah.
What's your top 5 favorite plants besides marijuana?
I am sober, but I do like marijuana. I am here for the medicine. Shout out to that. And it's such a fascinating, beautiful plant to grow. And it does bring people together. And let's see. I became a seasonal girly. One thing we don't do as far as a people in the United States is that we don't eat seasonally. So a lot of people don't know that broccoli is only grown naturally during the winter. Everything else is imported. And also when it comes to citrus, our citrus season, you would think it's a summer fruit, right?
Right.
Citrus season is November to February in LA.
Okay.
So we're getting this food all year round. We see the same food at the grocery store all year round, where because I grow my own food, I start craving things based on season. Gotcha. So during the winter, I go crazy for radishes.
Oh, so you saying basically in the real world, if it wasn't like it was supposed to be, when you go to your grocery store, it would only be certain fruit out during certain seasons.
Right.
Because reality, they're not getting produced no other season.
So that
They're not
stuff that be
supposed-
in the organic section, that should
Yeah.
all be seasonal.
For the most part, but also organic is interesting because you can qualify as an organic garden in just 3 or 4 years of operation, but certain chemicals you could and pesticides you can use and still be considered organic. But you can still import organic because say if you grew organic in Georgia, it's not going to be any less organic once you ship it to California. If you think about it.
That makes sense.
So, but with produce, if you look at those bags in the smallest print, you got to get your good glasses. It'll tell you where it came from. And a lot of our citrus is Chilean. And Chile is not down the street.
It's way up the world.
Yeah. And did you all, I think I talked about this on my show a long time ago about the cartel avocado thing that happened like 3 or 4 years ago. That was bad.
What they was not letting avocados go into the California. Or
Well,
what?
a lot of our avocados in California come from Michoacan,
Right.
which is a state in Mexico, and it's I think it's southwest, but real south. It's far away. And it's not Cabo. It's not. Yeah, it's not Mexicali. Nowhere near the border of United States and Mexico. And this is the alleged story because I don't believe this. So an American inspector went down to Michoacan to inspect the avocados, and he got his life threatened and his family threatened by a cartel member. So that created a block on avocados coming up to the United States and California specifically. I don't 100% believe that's what happened. And also, how do you just go down there and somebody's like, oh, I'm gonna kill your whole family?
So what you think? What's the not what you think, but what's the
Well, historically,
what's the story? What they call somebody? What's the when you're thinking about like a story, but it's like the backstory and people don't.
the theory.
I guess that's the more scientific term for it. But it's like I don't know, people that be looking into all of those
The evidence investigation.
conspiracy.
Oh, conspiracy. Yeah.
What's the conspiracy about what could have happened if that didn't happen with the avocados?
That's a good one. So the thing about it is, historically, Mexico has just been a scapegoat for a lot of America's nonsense.
Got you.
And how even what's happening now, you know, with the ICE raids and everything, and they're saying, people are saying it's not targeted or it's not our fight. It is our fight because, well, this happened to us first. The Watts riots was targeted towards black people. This is mimicking the same exact thing 50 years later, what have you. Wait, I don't know how long ago the 60s were, but
And the
you
cold
gotta do the
thing
math.
is if they could do it to them, they could just turn around
And do it to us too.
everybody.
Yeah, and people from Africa are being are being deported. Thank you. So the thing about it is like the business and how a lot of companies are sending out labor to other countries is because the exploitation. You know, the peso is only worth a tenth of our dollar. So rather than me paying your worth, like say if you do a show, your rate is what, $500 an hour?
Yeah, that's
Okay. In Mexico, I can get somebody to do it for $50. So that's just the beginning of it.
Yeah.
And then I can go into this for a while. So the exploitation is crazy out there. And the thing about it is when the people start to have their own control, because what Mexican citizens did and the government is that they are eradicating all GMO American corn out of their entire country. They're sick of it. So they're taking their power back. And they're like, oh, y'all can't be doing that. So it makes sense that we're going to go after y'all's people over here for many, many reasons because we can't manipulate and control them and exploit them to the extent that we want. It's all about money.
Got you.
It's
That makes sense.
it's not about taking out houses because California has so many abandoned buildings.
So it's basically like a passive aggressiveness. They say
It's a power
hey,
trip.
please don't do that right there. Oh, y'all doing it? Don't worry about it. We fit to get on all y'all people over
Right,
there
over
until
here.
y'all
Yeah.
stop.
Oh, not only y'all doing it, y'all are doing it well. Y'all are dedicated. Y'all are our community.
Now it's getting violent and everybody going crazy. I was just
Right.
watching this shit on the YouTube, but it was live and it was just like they blew up 5 Waymos and.
No, not the Waymos. I think Waymos had it coming. I've been cut off
But
by a
it's just-
Waymo. I think Waymos the people.
I'm trying to get into a good accident with a Waymo, fall out the car and all that, be a millionaire, don't even trip. Shout out to Waymo, man. I'm gonna need Waymo.
I'm gonna need Waymo.
Yeah. But yeah, shout out to the black and the brown people out there holding it down, man. It's a real
Yeah,
fight,
people from
though.
BET Weekend were getting maced too.
It's not a game.
Because it's all happening right there. Like mace,
That's
gas,
why I was saying at the same
bulleted.
time that's happening. There's people in there at parties having a BET weekend like ain't nothing going on.
And then they walk right into it because of the Staples Center.
Yeah, the freeways. I seen people driving and the freeways all shut down because they doing all that. So,
Right.
running in hella traffic.
There's a lot going on out here right now.
Hey man, it's welcome to LA, baby. It get cracking out here.
It does get cracking out here.
You niggas come for the weather and leave with all kind of other shit.
Oh
you
my
know
gosh, broken dreams.
Hey man, you can go.
We told you, but did we not
Some
tell
of them
you?
come and get stuck.
You can
They
go
can't
from
leave.
Hollywood to Skid Row real fast.
Real
Some
fast. You
bad
can.
decisions.
Yes, you can.
You definitely gotta have.
Yes,
your
you can. Bad
decision-making
decisions surrounded by
skills up.
bad people, and it has
Yeah.
nothing to do with money. It has everything to do with character and spirit.
Hey, he was
It's like
already
Vegas too. Like some people go out there thinking they're gonna, hit the jackpot,
win big
Yeah.
and
and
Nah.
be right there with that little motherfucking Superman suit on, trying to take a picture. Like,
Oh, didn't he die?
who?
Superman.
Oh, I don't know.
Because Jesus died. Remember the LA Jesus? He passed away.
Oh, you talking about the Superman downtown? I mean, in Hollywood.
Hollywood, yeah. I think he
Oh, I
passed
didn't know that.
away.
Man, that's fucked up.
Yeah.
I was trying to pick the right character, so I wouldn't say nobody.
No, but he's OG though. He's been around for
Yeah, for
decades.
sure.
Every time you
He
hit
always
Hollywood
been
Boulevard,
there.
him and Spider-Man.
For sure.
And now some of them characters out there look a busted mess. They really
Wow.
do.
I just wanted to let people know, because my people used to be in Hollywood. He was saying that like it's like a little cruise of people when they ain't listening.
Mm-hmm.
Like they tell you want to take a picture, we gotta pay or all that. If you get to try to do too much, they got a little crew that'll come around and tune you up. So
Oh.
don't be out there fuck with them mascots, man.
Yeah.
Pay them little people,
Yeah.
take your little picture and get on out the way.
Yeah.
Cause you'll be wondering why you end up beat up, and it was
he was doing too much.
You
the
doing too much.
mascot nigga. He said to you,
Dan
man.
Ketchum's fade from SpongeBob is wild.
Damn, I see some shit like that. And they
Yeah.
just know how to squabble. They out
Yeah.
there all day.
Well, they have, yeah.
They outside.
They're living on the skids, if you think
Wow.
about it. They really are.
They just got that costume and they looking friendly.
Don't let it
happy.
fool you.
Boom,
Don't let Elsa from Frozen fool you. She'll choke you out. She really will.
Don't let Elsa fool you.
Right. And there's still guys out there passing out mixtapes like it's 2002.
Hey man, I ain't gonna lie.
Like you wanna listen to my shit?
Said,
Like,
what
no.
I'ma play it on?
Right.
What am
What am I gonna play it on?
Being an artist too, I be trying not to do them like that because I done did that.
You
before.
get it, right? But then they'll be like, "Oh, $20 for this?"
Whoa.
But
No,
the fact that everything is digital now,
Right.
it make it harder.
Yeah, no, I like them better. See, I always used to say donation, whatever you feel like, because at this same, it's like I could be doing anything. I'm out here doing this. When you say donations, cool, whatever you feel. Wow, you can give a nigga
Right.
$2. I appreciate it. He's supposed to say, all right, if I got 100 units, I sell them all at $2. I'm gonna make some money. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If you get then you get 1,000 next time. You make $2, you make some money. You get
Yeah.
it? So it's all part of the numbers game. You got 10 of them and you get $2. You made your little 20. Go home. Try it again.
There it is.
But so sometimes somebody might look in there and dig deep, give you 100, give you a little inspiration.
Yeah, you
So
gotta be open to
ask
it.
for the donations, man. Come and say, hey, I need 20 is now I
Yeah.
don't want it no more.
Yeah.
Now I gotta. I'm gonna come back over here and I'm gonna talk to you, and then don't never come back because
Right.
you came with the unreasonable. So I'm gonna hit you with the unreasonable.
I got
you
one
know?
once and it had no tracks on it. I got one once.
Got
and
a blank CD.
It was blank.
That nigga
It was decorated and everything. I was blank as fuck. I was like, you know
Hey,
what?
you know
Just
what?
keep the $20.
Hey, I'm
not
gonna do
even
this.
that.
I'm gonna do this for the artist. Maybe this.
The
If he-
fact that you even gave him the time, no, you was about to really try to
No,
give him a
I'm
listen.
Right.
gonna speak on
He
the
was
artist's
passionate.
behalf.
He was real
on the artist's
passionate.
behalf. Maybe this is what happened. Look, he ordered his own CDs and he was printing them,
Yeah.
and he just accidentally put that one in a pile that was already printed. And it just happened to not be printed. It wasn't on purpose. Because that's a cool little lick right there.
There was
out there
nothing
selling
on
CDs with nothing on it, though.
You still gotta pay for the blanks and all that other
Hey.
shit. Though.
And you don't
Come
want
on
anybody
now.
coming after you.
Your
man.
jewel case with the insert.
Yeah,
you know,
I
crazy.
guess
that
not.
shit
You
gonna
don't
cost
want
more than
anybody coming after
$10.
you, right?
Yeah, no. So being in hip hop, you gotta have your core fan base. When you got a core fan base, they appreciate you having a CD, even though it ain't nowhere to play it. And it's
There
still
no
old
songs
school.
on it.
They just want to have it, just to say, "Oh yeah, this is my favorite artist." You know how it
Right.
just be. Instead of having something crazy or having to when you start not want to go out to so many shows and be so in the world, because sometimes people see 5,000 people at a concert and be like, nah, I passed, that's too many people.
Right.
But if I could just order something and still support, I'd do it like that. So you don't want to never close that, but I don't know if I could still go hit the front line with it no more.
Yeah, it's a different time.
You're gonna get hella no's before you in a few years, so it's
Yeah.
good to pay your dues and learn how to get your confidence
Right.
up. But when you get past there, you probably want to go to
Right.
somewhere else with it. But
They still believe in the Hollywood dream. That's why they're out there. It's not for anything else. Otherwise, they'd be at the beach. Or they'd be. Why aren't you at the club though doing that? Why aren't you at the at the industry?
You gotta go
stuff?
be at your fans.
Yeah,
when you
go get some
past
fans.
Somebody that came to buy some shoes, they came to a Nikes.
Yeah,
they didn't want no
They don't
CD.
want your
When
CD.
you go to where your fans are, they what you got for sale? That's it.
Right.
And they want to purchase. So that's what you need to do, really get some fans. So that's the hard part of being music, When you get 1 million fans, you could drop anything for whatever amount and make some money. When you got 10 fans, we back to that same $20 you done made times 10. All right, now you your next goal is try to get 100. You know what I'm saying? With that, now you could sell a show $20. You might make you a little bit more. You keep growing with the shit. You know what I
Right.
mean? You stop wherever you end up at, that's how much money you're going to have. But yeah, the fan,
Go
it's
get
like
some
that.
fans.
If you go get a label, they'll push you around the whole world and
put
can
you
have
in
a big
debt.
goal, but you owe somebody.
Yeah, you
know
be
what
in
I'm talking
debt.
about? So yeah, that's the twist. You do it yourself, it's gonna take a little longer. You got to do the hard work.
But you own everything.
People love to go perform and then go home.
Yep.
Like you need to go. Them people who might have liked you out there,
Go
you
talk
need
to 'em.
Take a picture with them. Give me your Instagram.
Right.
Yeah. So it's like, ooh, you be talking crazy now. You looking in the crowd like, ooh, what if something happened and you just living foul. And how you thinking foul instead of you thinking somebody might want to be a fan and buy your merch. You think you might get into it. So you like, fuck it, I'm gonna go home. But it is what it is. Back to the plants though. No, matter of fact, we getting winding down. Let's talk about you being a teacher. How did you become a teacher? You was always thought about being a teacher when you grew up, or you just slipped and fell? And
Yeah, just
was
slipped and fell.
Grading papers.
Yeah, I got picked up at a farmer's market, and I was asked by a county representative that I wanted to teach because I'm an entertainer too. Like I'm a performer. I have been performing my whole life, but there's an entertainment aspect that I add to teaching. Just to keep people, like being lectured at for hours and hours, and academic burnout is very much real.
Yeah.
So they gave me my first shot, and then I got picked up by charter schools. I got picked up. Now I don't have credentials, which you actually need. You do need to have credentials to be a teacher with LAUSD.
Right.
But I do have curriculum that I've written. I'm a horrible speller, so just to let everybody know, you don't have to be able to spell everything right all the time, and you can still live your hopes and dreams.
Hello.
You know what I'm saying? I used to tell people, I was like, I don't know what I'm talking about. I just sound like I do.
Hello. I got it down.
And C's
though.
get degrees, baby.
Hello.
So that's how
C's get degrees.
Yeah. So I've been teaching consistently since 2021, and I teach. I'm more of I do after school programs. I do summer school. I do workshops for the county, and very blessed. It has opened up my world tremendously. Like I told you, I moved away from sales, so. The interesting thing about academia is I work with a really amazing group called Change the Tune, and they just really opened my eyes to how much we can shift the academic experience for kids while they're young.
Gotcha.
To teach them that they're leaders now, and also like to reduce the statistics. The statistics are bad, but reduce the prison to the school to prison pipeline. Yeah, it's really, really bad. So most of the kids, a lot of the kids at school are homeless.
Fuck.
And horrible. And it's like, I had to cry. I had to go over there and cry real quick.
Yeah, because it's at a certain sense, you got to realize that I can't
no
even
parental
help
figures.
You. I can only help you what I can help you with.
Right.
Like
Staying in motels. The only food
Yeah.
they get is when they're at school. That's why lunch programs are so important, and kids should definitely eat for free. A child being in debt over school lunch is nasty, evil work. That's wild. And they should have nutritional. I think it needs to be a balance of junk food and nutritional food, because I think kids snap when you deprive them of like certain things. Like, oh, you've never had a soda in your life. Like, not, you can even do a natural soda, or your kid, especially when the parents don't give the kids juice. I was like,
drink some water.
All
kids.
sugar is not bad sugar.
Yeah, cane sugar. Huh?
Yeah, like there's all different. Well, watermelon has natural occurring sugars, like the H3O. Shout out to the homie. They'll get their hydration.
Yeah.
They'll enjoy sweetness that's natural sweetness, and then you can tell the difference between artificial and natural.
The difference between fructose and glucose.
Yeah, so everything, all the sugars that we do take in does turn into glucose in the body.
That part.
And then we burn that energy. The issue is that since the kids don't have a lot of green spaces, it's like jail. You get an hour on the yard.
Fuck.
You see what I'm saying?
Hey man,
You only get an hour in the yard.
Hey man, we're gonna fix all this in the long run.
We're gonna
y'all.
fix all this. That's what we're working at.
This is our thing. Give them all your social medias and everything before we get out of here. And,
yes.
And tell them about your podcast and where they can.
I do have a
tap in
podcast.
at.
I do. Shout out to Innovative Culture.
Yeah.
Oh, speaking of shout out, I totally forgot, or did I forgot? But we were having a good convo. Happy birthday, Cam.
Hello.
I missed it.
Damn.
Yeah. Oh damn, Cam.
Yeah. Y'all better wake it up. I know y'all been on that champagne, that champagne all day. Wake it up. Wake it up. It's 2:00. Actually, it's 2:00 right now. So wake it up. Wake it up.
Give them your social.
Oh yeah, so on everything from TikTok to YouTube, even my Cash App, Plant Plug, the Plant Plug LA, and yes, I have the trademark OG Plant Plug Triple G. Put some respect on my name, and that's where you can find me. Instagram is I'm the most active on Instagram.
Hello. Before we get out of here, Cam, go on and slide them on home. Give them our social medias and things of that nature.
Thanks for having me.
Appreciate you.
Tap in with me at COOLAZZCAM. Tap in with our website, www.theinnovativeculture.com. Follow us on Instagram at innovative.culture and the WB Morning Show. And subscribe to our YouTube at youtube.com/innovativeculture.
Yeah, appreciate you pulling up. It's the WB Morning Show. You know, it goes down and it goes up at the same time, like a motherfucking stock exchange around here. You know what I'm talking about? Y'all subscribe, like, leave a comment, you know, tell a friend and tell a friend. You know what I'm talking about? The WB Morning Show goes down. Hello.
Waking up, sunshine beams through the blinds. Young LA and cool as Cam on the grind. 10 a.m. hits, I'm tuning in for the fun. Spotify or YouTube, blowing up your mind. WB Morning Show, that's the spot. Fresh episodes every Monday, they hot. West Coast vibes, never miss a shot. Eating up the screen, they serving the plot. Look, hit that subscribe, punch that bell. New content dropping, can't you tell? Last for days, stories to swell. Morning shots, we under the spell.
Innovative.